See if I can make it simple. So what I just saw, right, was two directions of flow, right? I seen two directions. Seen one going up against what it can't go past, and I seen energies already going back, like if ether was water, right? Like the spacelessness, or what's in spacelessness, or matter, some form of matter. That's kind of like invisible to the eye, but it's existing, right? So it's like it's there. It's everything, right? It's just everything. It's what everything comes out of. So this frequency, this, I don't even know what to call it. I want to say stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want to call it, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to say ether. You know what I mean? But anyway, this energy that's flowing, as it's going this way, the anticipation, because it's new, right? It's going that way. So that anticipation carries a different energy because it's going away from the source of energy. It's going away from the main source of energy. From wherever it came from, it's going away. And keep in mind, there's so many of these sources that popped up over the whole ethereal realm, you know what I'm saying, which is ginormous. And so, all right, so now it's going back this way, but you got this, it's already touched it. You got this flow that's already touched the end, and it's flowing back towards the source of energy. So it has more of an optimistic connection. Plus it's more on a pull, right? The magnetism is taking place. So it has like this optimistic, creative, directional energy, and they're crossing like this at all given times. So if I look above, and that's the energies that's above, as that dwindles down, right? As that dwindles down, that forms into a creation, which is existence in characters that specify increments of each one of those values. So you got people who are going away from the energy, and they're learning lessons in that retrospect. So then sometimes they go head first and they just go farther off because that's the direction they're being pulled in until they hit that wall and they have to wash back, and then they get that magnetism and it pulls them. That might be 3 lives from wherever they are at this moment. That might be another lifetime before this moment. It might be within that lifetime. It could be at any given aspect of reality. And that's not for us to comprehend. It's for that individual. These people may fall under the jurisdiction of doing anything under the roots of negative polarities that we circumference in some form of value. They may just choose to be disingenuous. They may choose to be narcissistic. They may choose to have all these different elements of existence that don't procreate with the growth of existence. Is because they're going away from the light, but they're still a part of everything in that frequency. But just when they hit that wall, they're going to wash back and then get that pull. So that's not the reason why I'm speaking to it like this, is because I'm obviously standing on another existence that's being pulled towards the source. This is what I speak towards, higher vibrations, right? Even comprehending that or having that as a retrospective, my existence speaks to the value. So this is the diagram. This is how you know and you comprehend. But to give my lesser energies or my in different direction energies, because they're going in the opposite direction, right? Until they, till that flow of energy turns around to you to comprehend that that's what's happening. Then you have something to look forward to. And it'll give you a different balance as far as even trying to digress within the opposite polarities. Yes, you're going that way, but you're also going to turn around. So this is not to get you to dive deeper into those aspects of separation, right? It's to get you to comprehend the cycle, because everything goes through that same energy, just in other existences and lifetimes. And you might be presently going through that, and it seems like you are meant to be this particular being, this evil being, because it feels right because of the direction, and the direction is pulling away when in fact it's a cycle. So don't let your cycle control your character. Be more dynamic in a divine understanding, knowing that you're still a part of the light that's just in the flow of the force. So the force pushes it away, and that force that pushes it out, it allows it to coalesce and cool down. And this is where creation comes in. So at some point in existence, that essence of that away energy is the beginning of coalesce. So you help the coalescing take place at some point. You know what I mean? You actually played that role in allowing us to be, because we were going away. But then the reconception of that energy, the turnaround, it allows it to transmute from the coalescing to the light, right? So then it's going back within that form. It's almost like a filtering, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm making alcohol, right, or if I'm making wine, I can leave all the fruit and the sugars and the yeast and the waters and everything, the breakdowns in the bucket. But if I want to get the wine, I got to pour it through like a cheesecloth or something, you know what I'm saying, and filter it out, and then you get a better version. If I want to take that and get liquor, I have to take it and now cook it and get the steam and then cool that down and get the alcohol that comes off it. So it's 3 processes, but you're aware of that. So within that process, would you feel like, I'm different from them? No, you're going to say that's where you came from. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the original energy is still relevant because it passes through and it connects to other new energies that are coming in. That's when you learn the existence. So it's always going like this. It's just whatever coalesce creation at that moment that's passing through experiences those characteristic traits as it goes around. And it comes down, and then you know what I'm saying, you're going to get back to the source, and it's going to filter through powerful, and it's going to keep going. You're going to recreate and recreate. I'm going to recreate again in 1,000 lifetimes from now. They're like, yeah, we don't want you to talk. They're like, we don't want you to free nobody. Stop talking. Let them be mad. Let them do stuff and be careless about it. No. I'd rather make you aware. Even if you think that you're indulgent in the negative energy in some form and you feel like that's a polarity to you, I'm explaining to you why it's like that. It's only like that because of the directional path. And it doesn't mean like when you're going that way, you're not going to cross paths with someone that's going that way, and at a time you're going to be right above or, right side by side by each other because of the, the pull and the push and the pull. It's like magnets. They go like this, you know what I'm saying, eventually. It just depends on where you at and you comprehending that value, because you're going to be pulled through that through your whole existence. You know what I'm saying? This is literally breaking down the value of the direction of what's happening and where you get the characteristic traits to be what you are, other than having a personal reference to the characteristic traits that are taking place within existence to point out people's individual flaws. This is why we're not supposed to judge. It's because it's natural direction. You are literally the granule of metal that is being conducted by the magnetism of the universal pull. Literally, if you look at, you take like a small saucer and you put some metal in it, you take a magnet and you run it across in 2 different directions, you're going to have certain magnets pull with the one magnet, certain metals pull with the one magnet, and certain other metals pull with the other magnets, because they're 2 forces of energy, and they're not 2 separate. They're all connected. It's just it's like if I'm spinning, right? If I'm spinning a hula hoop, or I'm spinning one of those, like the gears on the car that has like you need like the little rubber wheel that connects them or whatever. It's at the top it's going that way, but at the bottom it's going this way. And at every given time, the 2 directions will cross at each other really fast. You know what I'm saying? But it's still going this way and that one's going that way, but they're still on the same belt. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it looks like. And it's like, because you're washing up against the wall and then coming back, that characteristic trait of separating from that source energy is a character. It makes you feel that because you're going away from all the most powerful energy. But then in the same retrospect, you're slowing down. The heat is coalescing and it's creating existence. How we get planets and shit like that. So as it washes up and then it comes back, it has changed to existence. That time frame is created. Things have grown. Life is come. Now it's getting heightened. It's starting to speed up again. It's flowing. Now it's going back to where it came from. And that mixing bowl, right, of frequencies that are taking place is what allows us to have the comprehension of what's guiding and pulling certain aspects of reality. But when you don't have a clear cognitive understanding of these particular these things that are universal, you have times and space, right, where people and their understanding are affected by how they comprehend, to opposed to how that light filtered through their physical. It brought indifference and actions that brought negativity and different visualizations to how this negativity was absorbed by other people, and they had the opportunity to put whatever fear retrospect on that value, you know what I'm saying, and title it. So these are these stories that wanted to project that feeling, right? Because you got to keep in mind, as we go through life, and I think this shit goes over people's heads, as you go through life, people keep putting out that feeling was the most important thing, how you felt to a retrospect. And it might have blinded the visualization of the energies that were really being procured at the particular time. Not knowing how everything is affected in its own retrospect. Like you can get in the water, you can get in the river, but eventually you're going to flow with that river. And if that river's deep, you can stand there only but so long before that water take you. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the weight of a rock, right? And that rock is still affected by the water because over a period of time, it gets grinded down by, the water and the little minerals in it, and it starts to smooth out as the water rolls over it, you know what I'm saying? And it starts to change its shape. It may take a while, but it still does it. It changes with flow. So no matter what, you can't just sit still and be like, this the flow of the fucking universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is why it broke down to the value of speaking to a higher energy, because knowing that you're in the process of that, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that you're in the process of that, something's controlling that fucking conveyor belt. Something's controlling that big ass wheel. You know what I'm saying? That's spinning that energy that got it going like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's another dynamic force that's unexplainable, unfathomable to the creations of its coalesced energy. You know what I'm saying? As it slows down and speeds up in a constant repetition of energy transfer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is the dynamic where people don't comprehend. It's like saying you're down there on the highway and it's a fucking 30-mile traffic jam because it's an accident, but you're way the fuck down there. But the people who are way up there, they know and they feel a little more lighter because they're getting through it. They got past it. They look at the accident. Now they flowing. The traffic is open. They're like, wow, I'm glad to be through that. But everybody else who's at the end of the traffic, they like, damn, I don't want to sit here for fucking whatever time it's going to take for them to get up to where the people getting through. It's the same value, you know what I'm saying? But you see this, it's like life is telling you this shit. And so many different understandings. It teaches you patience because eventually you're going to be at that same point. It teaches you patience through every single aspect because it's going to be a time that you're going to get to a point. But are you understanding what point you are by this reference of existence? That right there ensures the knowledge and the wisdom that you need to have occurring to how you're supposed to move, because your existence is based off where you are, like, you know what I'm saying, and what you are as far as your growth, because you couldn't grow in a certain flower pot without being nurtured in a certain way. So if your growth is at this because of what you're receiving, then you can comprehend that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to say, this is why you look at yourself. This is why you say, nah, let me look at how I move. Or nah, I like moving like this. I don't know why I'm so stupid. I don't know this, but I do shit like, I know that's where you are. You might be coalescing. The heat off you that's coming because you going away from the energy, you might be slowing down. So that fire that's coming out of you is coming out of you. So you say things, you do things wrong. You say things indifferent. You carry a different type of energy with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, these values exist. People don't even look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? But then you got to think about it. Like, when it's coalescing, it's slowing down, it's saying, hey, look at me. The light, inside the light going out. You know what I'm saying? But it has to get its last glimmer. Like, look at me, see me still see me shine. Because I came from shining. You know what I'm saying? But it don't realize as it washes up, it's going to come back through the process. And it's going to go back through it anyway. It's just that if you let those characters deem the existence of how you feel, moreover than the light that's being processed, it's going to destroy the structure. You know what I'm saying? That's consciousness going through affliction. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people don't be comprehending. Like, you ain't got to beat yourself down like that, not comprehending that everything is the process of the divine. So even if you in the water, cold or hot, just know you're in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, know you're in the flow. Like, how you here and not comprehending that you're here. You know what I'm saying? How you exist and not comprehending that you at some point of existing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then once you go around the cycle so many times, you start seeing that you go around the cycle for that reason. It's a filtration. Everything is getting filtered. You know what I'm saying? And even the metals that was so hot as the divine energy came and hit spacelessness or pointlessness, and it imploded and blew out. Bang, that heat was so hot that it melted existence, and existence flew off. And as it flew off, it was bright and hot, and it was powerful, and it was creating different aspects as it flew eons and light years apart. And as it got to the edge of existence, it has to wash back. You know what I'm saying? So as it's coming back and it's slowed down, now you got all these creations, because now it's not as hot and magmatic. You know what I'm saying? Like magma, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like that no more. It ain't just flowing and fluid, like just dangerous. It's not explosive. It doesn't have the characters of I'm just so powerful because I came from the Almighty. It don't have that. And see, these are just characteristics of direction. Like anything, if you see a car flying, like, and then you in the way and it loses direction and it flip over on one tire and then it's going fucking 80 miles an hour and it's flying down the street, you're not about to stand in front of that. You know what I'm saying? That hit is going to be like Incredible Hulk hit you. Like, you don't want to get hit with that car. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reality. But comprehending the forces have nothing to do with the egotistical mentality of imagination. And that be the value. You got to understand, people are going to explain it based off their fears in retrospects to what they comprehend. So now a movie comes into value, now an experience, now a thought pattern, something that they learned. And that speaks from the ego, because now it's coming from something of your existence to portray a value of divine understanding. And that shit don't never fly. You know what I'm saying? It don't never fly, but that's how people get lost in the sauce. So now you're feeling a certain particular way because you're in a particular part of the loop of existence, not comprehending that you're a part of the whole. So now you acting out just a feeling, a part tied to you understanding what you're doing. That's why I be saying, like, you know where you at. Shit go over people's head, yo. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. I ain't gonna hold you though. You already know the vibes. Naga the Wise.